everybody. Welcome back to Enchanted Ways. We are continuing with Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, okay? Season 2, Episode 7, The Miracles of Sabrina Spellman. So, Sabrina collapses in this episode. I jumped the gun last video. So, Sabrina ends up collapsing after, she performs all of these feats. And, Nick and everybody were outside helping the others, and so Harvey ends up catching everybody up to speed and telling them what he saw and what she did, and then the others chimed in. She brought us back to life, yada yada yada. So she's just laying there and trying to recuperate, and poor Ambrose is dying, and Hilda's getting flustered because none of the spells are working. So they hit him. I guess, the arrows or something probably had some special prayer or something on it. And so he's not healing. So they're trying to figure out what's going on. And Sabrina comes to and I can help. And she heals him straight up. So now Ambrose and Hilda are worried because it's like, all right, you're doing spells in a way that this isn't how our magic works. What's happening to you? What is going on? And so they're worried. Sabrina's completely unfazed. She's controlling weather and has decided, okay, I think my, newfound powers are a sign to spread my father's gospel with everybody, not just witches, non-witches too. So she goes to Baxter High and tells Roz and Harvey and everybody how she's tapped into this new magic, and there aren't any consequences, and I don't have to sacrifice anything, and I can just make things happen. It feels different. And so because it's not a spell, Roz is open to Sabrina healing her, and so that's exactly what she does. And now Roz can see again. So Blackwood ends up returning from the necropolis or wherever the hell they went on their honeymoon, and he is, not feeling Sabrina's show of powers at all. And so he's laying into her and interrogating her, and Sabrina's like, when instead of questioning me, you need to be thanking me for saving everybody. And the council agreed. So she also brought up to the council that she thinks Blackwood is behind the anti-pope attack. And so they tell her she's got 24 hours to find proof of this. Ambrose, he's still, everything's still the same. He's still getting executed, still not having a trial. They don't care that he stayed behind and warned of the witch hunters. So he's thrown back in the witch's cell. And Prudence brings to Blackwood's attention because, she's jealous. She never really liked Sabrina anyway. They all have this thing about her being half witch anyway, and just her personality and her gumption. Prudence isn't feeling it, and now she's working miracles. Oh no. So Prudence is like, well, she'll do anything to save Ambrose, even perform a miracle. And so the council is like, well, if she performs a miracle and gets in the way of our witch laws, she's going to be executed too. So Sabrina decides to find Leviathan, and they do. Nick digs at the bottom of a garbage can and finds it, a garbage bin, and Sabrina brings it back to life. And Leviathan says, I agree. I'm going to testify that Ambrose was acting, under my control, and Blackwood told me to do this. Um, so Dorian ends up snitching. And soon as they leave, Dorian calls Blackwood and tells him that she brought Leviathan back to life. So Blackwood tells Zelda, who is under a spell, she's wearing pink. She's, the perfect little housewife. Like, it's the Stepford wife spell, basically. And he tells her, Zelda, you have a mouse in your house. Oh, I've got to kill it. And that's exactly what she does. So while Sabrina is arguing with Hilda, because she's telling her of her plans, that she feels this is all a sign and she needs to come out of the broom closet to the world. And Hilda's like, are you crazy? No. Do you know what happens to us when we try to mingle with mortals? So while all of this is going down, Zelda has found the mouse and she put it in a meat grinder. So there'll be no resurrecting of this mouse. So they end up, Hilda ends up figuring it out, like, okay, I think I know what kind of spell she's under and how to break it. And so turns out Sabrina can also teleport things, through space and time. And she gets the music box that is controlling Hilda. And this tripped me out. When they pulled that picture out of Zelda in that box with no smile, just this scowl, juxtaposed to her new personality under this spell. I got a kick out of that. Because that picture, can you imagine that picture? Oh, somebody's this is like that. That's your wife. No smile at all in that picture. Just just a scowl. So that tripped me out. So they end up breaking the picture. And so the spell is broken. And they decide, we're going to have to do something about, Blackwood. We got to save Ambrose and we've got to keep up appearances. And so Zelda has to pretend that she's under the spell, and they decide that they're going to do what they can to stop Ambrose's execution. Since all eyes are going to be on Sabrina, they can't risk her doing any type of spell work and, getting killed too. So they end up going to the execution. And when the guillotine comes down, Hilda has a little doll baby and she cuts the head off of it. And so the executioner dies instead of Ambrose. So Blackwood calls a student up and is like, okay, you kill Ambrose. And Sabrina's like, well, why don't you do it yourself since you want him dead so bad? So he's like, you know what? You execute Ambrose. So then the Dark Lord appears while she's, hesitating. What should I do? And he's like, enough. Are you so blind to my will? Ambrose is spared. He's not being executed. So Prudence sees that Sabrina, manifested a glamour or vision or whatever you want to call it of the Dark Lord. She was watching her the whole time when, the executioner died, and told Blackwood, no, it's not her. I've been watching her. She didn't do anything. But she noticed Sabrina's clenched fist when the Dark Lord was speaking. So the council strips Blackwood of his, temporary anti-pope title, because it's like, what's clear to us is that the Dark Lord isn't pleased with you. So, Father Blackwood, you're back to your old position. So, meanwhile, side adventure, Theo and Harvey decide to go in the mines and see what they can find. And they end up coming across a white woman who's guarding this shaft because Harvey runs up on it, explore the mines, want to see what he can find, and he finds, this tunnel boarded up, and he can't find any records of this tunnel, which piques, his curiosity, and so they end up going in the mine and running up on this, albino witch, or she's something, living in the cave, and Theo kills her. What they discover is a mosaic of Sabrina in the mine. So I'm trying to think. Hold on a minute. Let me check my notes. Yeah. So, Sabrina and Nick, they decide to have a mixer and what have you because Sabrina's going to come out to the world, and she was going to fly off of the roof. So it's like, okay, there's no turning back. And Harvey ends up stopping her because they discovered this picture in the mine, so she doesn't come out of the broom closet to anybody. And now they've got a whole nother issue on their hands. Meanwhile, Wardwell has decided to kill Sabrina. And, after the Dark Lord killed Adam, that knocked what little bit of light she had growing in her out. And she's like, enough is enough. And she makes this monster that she calls Adam. And she wants it to kill Sabrina. So that is that. I did like that scene with the Dark Lord because Sabrina had me for a minute. I actually thought that was the real Dark Lord stopping stuff, which would have been even better, but it's still cute that, she did that. So that is episode 7, and I'll see you on the next video, guys.